All right, what's up everybody? We are on the Xpeak 2.0 riding the world famous, or I shouldn't say world famous, the Southern California famous Fullerton Loop. The Fullerton Loop is about a 12-mile loop around the city of Fullerton. Very popular trail with mountain bikers in the area and in Southern California in general. So again, it's about a 12-mile loop. We're taking the Xpeak 2.0, the Lectric Xpeak 2.0 out to see how it holds up. This video is not intended to be a trail guide of any sort. There's plenty of other videos that do that. This is more so just a review that shows you how the Lectric Xpeak 2.0 shows up and performs on a little bit more of an aggressive trail. I will also say the Fullerton Loop is known for having a lot of extra credit, a lot of side quests throughout the loop. So essentially throughout the entire loop, you can take the main trail, which is sort of like a double track, if you will, or along the way, there's all sorts of really fun extra credit side quests, mostly single tracks, a few jumps along the way that you can do. So we're gonna go through the most popular parts of the trail and at least the ones that most riders are gonna encounter along the way. And again, we'll see how this Xpeak 2.0 holds up. All right, this is one of the first extra credits that you'll see starting off the trail. A little uphill, it's got a little downhill over towards the end. Some roots right here. These tires easily glide over. Let's get this little downhill. All right, we're gonna hit this first left turn that takes us into the trail. Let's go. You'll see a lot of walkers, hikers on this trail, so you got to keep an eye out for them. Make sure you're being courteous. Don't want to run anybody over. Another little extra credit to the right here. All right, this part right here is a fun little single track that most bikers will do. Let's go. So, you might be able to see on the GoPro, I am on pedal assist level 3. The Xpeak 2.0 has that new torque sensor that sort of matches your level of energy or output that you're putting into your ride. Makes it feel like a more natural bike ride. In terms of responsiveness, this thing's holding up really well on this single track. A lot of turns. It's probably about a foot and a half wide of track. And even with these 4-inch fat tires, holds up just fine. A few little roots along the way. The tires make those no problem at all. Little up and over right here. All right. Kick this into pedal assist 4. That front suspension really does a great job absorbing some of these bumps and the roots that you're going to encounter along the way. I will say, because I bought the bundle package of the Xpeak 2.0, It also came with a suspension seat post, which helps absorb some of that shock as well. All right, we're going to be coming up on one of our first uphill climbs. It's a pretty steep one too. This little section, you can take one of 4 or 5 downhill routes. Take this one. Here comes our first uphill climb. We're going to shift down. I am on pedal assist level 4, gear 2. Shift down one more. Pretty decent climb and not a problem. This is why folks call e-bikes cheating. They sort of are. I will say that on the analog mountain bike that I used to ride years ago, when I did this trail, it was still a lot of fun, but those uphills, they killed you, man. There's at least 5 or 6 of them throughout the 12-mile trail, and some of them are pretty steep. So the benefit of having the e-bike isn't necessarily for me, it isn't necessarily to help me pedal my way through the regular trails. It's more so for those uphill climbs. You can still get a really great workout depending on what level, pedal assist level you're on. If you stick to the lower levels, you're still gonna get winded on some of these uphill climbs. But if you wanna just keep things moving quickly, have a more flowy ride, then hey, that's what the e-bikes are for. Have some fun. All right, we are coming up on the first set of railroad tracks, or the railroad track portion of the trail. For those familiar with the trail, you'll know that there's 2 of them throughout the loop. Yeah, so far first impressions, this thing's holding up just fine. And you know what? I'll share a little bit of a disclaimer. I actually at one point purchased the Aventon Rombless mountain bike. That's more of a true e-mountain bike. And thinking that I was gonna need it for trails like the Fullerton Loop, because these are the types of trails that I tend to do. And I took it out on a quick test ride around my house. The tires aren't tubeless, they both popped within 3 miles. And so I figured before I return it, let me try out the Xpeak on the Fullerton Loop, see how it holds up. And this is back when I had the Xpeak 1.0. And so I took it out for a ride just to see how it would handle this type of trail, and it handled really well. So now obviously we're on the Xpeak 2.0. We're gonna see how this holds up. So far so good. All right, this next part of the trail is a decent little climb. You're gonna see some rooty areas on the way up. I'm gonna take those intentionally just to show you, like these, how the tires just sort of absorb a lot of these large roots. Now obviously I'm not flying over those things. I'm trying to be a little bit careful about keeping the tires safe. But stuff like that, it's not an issue. A little bit of a downhill, a little bit of a jump. All right, fun, fun, fun. All right, this next part. Now, most mountain bikers hang to the left. They go up here and they take a single track all the way down. It's a pretty technical single track. I've done it before on my 1.0, I've done it on the 2.0, and I'm not gonna do it this time because that's one area where the Xpeak 2.0 sort of struggles, is those really technical single tracks. And I would show it to you, but I'm a little bit more concerned about not breaking my neck. I've done it, it's doable, but in that type of a single track, it's just not as responsive to your turning, and it's not as reactive. That part is more so meant for a regular mountain bike that has those capabilities. So sorry, I'm not going to show you that one today, but just know if you're on this trail or you're familiar with this trail and you know that part that I'm talking about, the Xpeak 2.0 doesn't really hold up too well on that type of a single track. All right, this next part's got a little 2-foot drop, about 2 feet. It's a little extra credit, you're not required to do it, but I'm going to. Going up, Going down and drop. Bike's still in one piece, not too bad. I will say, if you are trying to do jumps on this bike, it is a little bit harder because it's just a heavier bike. When you're on a fat tire bike, you're usually carrying a lot more weight than a regular mountain bike. So there's that warning. If you're doing any jumps, be prepared to put some lift into it. All right, we're coming up on part of the trail that has what I would call a more technical uphill. I'm gonna take it right here. It's kind of a single track climb. It's got some roots along the way, as you can see here. It's like this all the way to the top. So we're gonna take this little extra credit / side quest. I am on pedal assist level 3, gear 2, I believe, and we're doing just fine. It's definitely requiring some effort. I'm not just gonna coast up this thing on the throttle, but I'm gonna go down to the lowest gear, gear 1. All right, made it up. A little bit of a downhill and back up. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I recall on my analog bike days, that thing was a workout. It still is, but obviously a little less of a workout with the e-bike. Some more roots right here. Up and over. I said that these tires eat up these roots really well. I will say it makes the bike itself a little bouncy, so prepare to bounce around if you're going over big roots. It's the nature of these types of tires. All right, we are coming up on what I would consider the biggest climb of this entire trail. It's a steep climb, and it's also a pretty long one. So I remember climbing this on my analog bike, and this is the one that would just kick my butt. So we're gonna shift down to low gears. I'm on pedal assist 3. Might move up to 4, we'll see. But let's go. All right, already on the lowest gear. Keeping it on pedal assist 3 because I want a decent workout. And you know what? For those asking if the throttle would get you up here on the throttle alone, we're gonna try it. Just right here. Mind you, I'm on pedal assist level 3, hitting the full throttle. Let's see what this does for us. All right, so we're getting a little steeper. We're slowing down a lot. I think we would make it all the way up slowly, but I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna go up to pedal assist 4. All right, and you know what? We're moving. Pedal assist 4, full throttle. It's getting us up this pretty steep climb. So if you have questions about whether or not it can make it on your hills, it probably can. Now there's a very popular part of this trail for technical mountain bikers, these chutes. Probably a little less than halfway through the trail. You might be able to see them here. These I do not touch. I don't even try on this bike, the fat tire bike. I think if you're gonna do this type of mountain bike riding, you gotta have the appropriate setup to handle this kind of material, if you will, because these are, yeah, these can be dangerous. So do not recommend these chutes or any chutes like these if you're on the Xpeak 2.0. You're just asking for trouble, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Let's keep it going. All right, we're coming up on a pretty steep and fast downhill portion of the trail. A lot of fun, but also you're gonna pick up speed very quickly here. So I'm gonna test out my brakes. It's not a smooth downhill, it's got some bumps to it. Some rooty areas, there's a couple of little jumps and drops. stuff like that that you really got to look out for. So I'm going about 20 right now. You could easily get up to 30 or so going down this downhill portion. Right brakes working well. They really help slow you down to the appropriate speed if you're not comfortable with downhills like this. If you need to, hit the right brakes, the back brakes, and then the front brakes. Do not hit the front brakes by themselves on a downhill like this. You should already know that, but hi! Woo. That was cute. Little girl waving at the riders coming down. A little bit of loose, sandy trail that you got to look out for. You don't want to slip and eat it. And we are at the bottom. All right, really bumpy. I imagine having a full suspension bike really helps in downhills like that because you're bumping and bouncing all over the place. All right, we are here at Laguna Lake. Nothing crazy to show here trail-wise, just wanted to show you the lake. But we'll be getting to the second set of railroad tracks in a couple minutes. So I'll pick up there. All right, we're gonna take this down to the railroad tracks, heading towards the golf course. Ooh, wet trail. All right, let's do this. This part of the trail runs alongside a golf course in Fullerton. Not exactly sure which one it is. Woo. Oh, I don't know that I've ever gone this way. Let's see what I'm getting myself into. Yeah. Just gonna take this part slow. Looks like it links up with the other trails down here. Yeah, sort of connect back to the regular trail. That's fun. All right, coming up on the tunnel section of the ride. This to me normally tells me I'm near the end. There's a main road you can take through this section. I like to take some of the single track. Extra credit, so I'm gonna do that. Ugh. It's a fun little section of the trail that I really enjoy. Whoa, almost slipped there. This way. What's fun about this section is that you can really do a lot of exploring. A lot of little different single tracks you can venture into. Ooh, nice. Little bridge crossing. Fun. Even with these 4-inch fat tires, still able to make it across that pretty easily. Well, that concludes the Fullerton Loop. Again, this is just going to take me back to the main road, back to the courthouse where everyone parks. So, overall impressions, riding the Lectric Xpeak 2.0 on the Fullerton Loop. And if you have trails that are similar to the Fullerton Loop, maybe this will be helpful for you. But can this bike handle the Fullerton Loop? Absolutely. Would it be easier or more comfortable to ride this trail on a regular mountain bike? Probably. The Xpeak 2.0 holds up well on the regular path of the loop, as well as some of those extra credits and little side quests that it offers I did most of the main ones today. There are others that you can take, probably some that I don't even know about, but for the purposes of the main Fullerton Loop trail and the main extra credit side quests that you can take, this thing holds up just fine. Again, probably be a little bit more comfortable on a regular mountain bike that's more responsive, a little bit lighter, especially if you're trying to do some of the jumps on the loop. But if you're just trying to go for a quick ride on the loop, do the main trail, some of the main single tracks, extra credits, etc., you'll be all right. But I hope this was helpful. Catch you guys on the next one. And you know what? Forgot to do a battery check. So, a little under 12-mile loop, fully charged battery before I started. And if you can see it in the GoPro now, still essentially fully charged. It might have gone down 1 bar, but overall looks like it's still fully charged from what I can see. And again, that's about a 12-mile loop, so not too shabby.